Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, the only series where we take breaks because we have mental problems, and then by the time we are starting to feel better and feel ready to create, we get COVID. Because God loves me, but only most of the time. And sometimes he's funny about it, which I can respect. That being said, yeah, it's been a while. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I am taking my time on it. It may be a weird schedule uploading. That being said, to everybody who's gotten me this far, being essentially the guy who got to 200 subscribers and now is currently above that, yes, I will be making the videos that I promised based on those things. I'm pretty sure, I believe the name is Emergence, will not come out until 250, but we are worryingly close to that one. That being said, let's just get into it. Also, to the people who've been recommending me stuff, I hear you. I literally have a board over there with everything written down on it. And you might think to yourself, everything? Everything. Literally it all. Each one written down, whether it's a manhwa in an anime or a hentai, I know it all. That being said, let's get into the actual review. So, today we're going to be looking at just kind of something to get our toes wet back into it since we've been gone for a while. That also being said, also jumping out of the kiddie pool a little bit because there are some tags on here that I probably said that I wouldn't use, and then I did, unfortunately. That being said, today we're going to be reviewing, it's right down there because I can't say Japanese right, Kyonyuu Elf Oyako Saimin Episode 1. And if you're wondering, what could this possibly be about? Dude has mind control powers and a ring that makes it to where he can never, like, run out of steam, and, elf girls. You wonder where that goes. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. This is being done by Bunny Walker, running at about 16 minutes and 19 seconds with a total of 19 categories, notable of which are dark skin, fantasy, and mind control. That being said, mind control comes with a lot of baggage into itself, and I actually have an idea for a video I want to do based on, like, what tags go together the best and which ones come as, like, package deals. I may need to make a video on that. That's a good idea. I'm going to lock that down. That being said, this thing, the general plot of it. You see, what happens in this episode starts out with the main character, actually, the dude. I don't want to call him the main character. He's the only human, though, and he's the one that gets focused on the most. So we're going to call him the main character. He is currently sitting on a throne with somebody going down on him. That person being a big boobed anime elf girl who is very royally dressed because she is the queen of this nation. And you see, that starts off at scene number 1. Scene number 1 goes from 10 seconds in and goes all the way to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Decent length for something that runs at about 16 minutes. It's not bad. That also being said, during the time that it happens, it is established that he does have mind control powers, and the person who then walks in afterwards is the queen's daughter, aka the princess. So, mind control powers gets used on her almost instantly, to which case he now has 2 girls. Oh boy. That being said, it then goes a little back in time to explain, like, what exactly is going on. And if you're wondering what's going on, I'll say, even though this was completely unnecessary for me to actually say out loud. So what happens is it then goes back to the main character pretty much just chopping wood behind a bush and getting all his supplies necessary. He then looks through the bush because he hears something on the other side. And what is it? Lo and behold, 2 elf women who are naked, kind of just bathing out in the middle of a pond, which is, yeah, it's okay. Also, this is a medieval time. You're going to get all kinds of disease. Do not bathe in ponds unless you are absolutely out of options, and even then bring a bar of soap. That also being said, he's discovered by them and thinks, oh dear God, they don't like humans and I should probably run. To which case, a dark-skinned elf, Drakari, whatever you want to say, essentially runs towards him dressed in full night gear and tries to kill him, but essentially knocks him out, and he then wakes up later on in a cave with a witch who I believe is also an elf. I kind of don't remember if she had elf ears or not, but if she does, she's a tricky little bitch. That being said, he then wakes up to her using her mouth almost instantly. Like, there is no downtime. He wakes up and then he's straight to business. So, that leads into scene number 2, which goes from 4 minutes and 5 seconds and goes all the way to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. These 2-minute, like, sex scenes are really, like, I think they elevate a lot when you really don't have a lot of time to work with, that being 16 minutes. And then, after his session, he's given a ring that allows him to, stay in the fight a lot longer. The stamina, the thing that helps you keep it up for more than 6 hours without having to call a doctor. That being said, she also says, hey, I've got an idea. Since you can, like, mind control people, I don't know if he had mind control powers to begin with, or that was given to him by her, but I assume it's from her because he didn't use it before to get away from the night girls. Regardless, he then runs straight into town with the witch girl, and then he walks straight up to a whole bunch of different elf girls and says, come. And then they all do. They just fall to their knees onto the floor. And I don't know how other people do, but I've never done that and then immediately fall into the floor for lack of bodily ability to function. That being said, I feel like if I was just walking around having a normal day and then somebody just like pointed at me and then he just nutted and then fell to the... I feel like that is realistic, but I feel like it's dramatized a little too much. That being said, I'm going to keep my eye on this one just in case I might be developing weapons of mass ejaculation in my basement because I want to see what happens. That being said, he gets accosted by the same dark elf who jumps at him ready to stop him. He points at her and says, come. And then immediately happens, she falls to the ground, to which case he says, well, free reign to go now. And then mind controls them all to be like, you know what? You're fine with this. And they're like, we're fine with this, which I don't feel like consists of like consent, but it's as good as you're gonna get. So that leads into scene number 3, which scene number 3 runs from 7 minutes and 45 seconds and goes all the way to 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And seriously, like 2-minute sex scenes in 16 minutes, that's like half the whole damn thing if there's a fourth one that runs at the same length, and damn it if there ain't. That being said, after essentially getting free reign of the joint, the only person who seems to be like resisting his like mind control through the whole thing is the dark elf girl, because knights were supposed to have like a ton of mental fortitude, or at least a lot of different military personnel are. Space Marines do. I am a Warhammer nut, and I may be going a little too far into this. Please, someone save my wallet. That being said, he then essentially gets escorted straight up to the princess and the queen, and essentially just says, man, smells like bitch in here, to which case he then kind of proves them right. He then walks over to the queen and then says, mine, mine. Pull them titties out, to which case, yeah, is exactly what you think happens. Mind control power with dude who's drunk on power. Let's see where this goes. Which then leads into scene number 4. Scene number 4 also having the daughter come in at a later point because they're reiterating what happened in the first one, but the first one he's been there for a longer period of time. Scene number 4 goes from 10 minutes and 50 seconds and goes all the way to 14 minutes and 45 seconds. 3 minutes and 55 seconds. That is impressive when you're really trying to squeeze it out, which technically makes it to where, like, almost, yeah, straight up, like, 60 to 65% of this is scenes, which, amazing. That being said, that's kind of where it ends. There is an episode 2. I have the script already written for that, but let's go ahead and get into the review section for this episode itself. Now, I may have sounded a little bit more, like, hyped up about this one, but unfortunately, it's not all good. So, let's get into the animation. Now, I've been trying to be harder towards animation because even though this is a sort of medium in the greater universe of just, like, animation overall, we can't all be expecting Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. I haven't seen Season 2, but I've heard it goes fucking nuts with the animation. And, Tower of God with just all the crazy shit that's going on with the animation. Now, that being said, it's not Tower of God. It's God of High School. That's the one. And now I wasn't expecting a lot when it comes to animation, but also some things need to be held to standards, and when a lot of things are hitting the same level of animation quality throughout the whole thing, you gotta kind of consider that the medium. So I'm gonna call this one a 6 out of 10. Now 6 out of 10 for animation isn't bad. 5 is just like average. You wouldn't really notice it. but also there's not a lot of great moments in it, and the parts that do look like they have budget behind them are few and far between, and they're usually not there for a lot of it. Now that being said, 6 out of 10 is completely respectable. It's nothing to like woo over then. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the characters and story. The characters and story in this are what I like to consider what happens when you make a porno plot. Now, porno plots are fun. They're usually goofy, over-the-top versions that just lead into sex of kind of just things that happen. Oh no, I'm stuck in the washing machine. What do I do? That's not how you get somebody out of a washing machine. Or, hey, I need my pipes cleaned. The dude's like, well, I don't have a brush. And she's like, I didn't ask for a brush. And it's kind of like that goofy sort of like, yeah, we know what's going on. Just get to it. Now, this really isn't that. It's like taking itself seriously when it doesn't need to. And I know I'm trying to like justify this, but I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10 because it's justifiably dumb and just like a vehicle to like push the whole thing for like just guy sleeps with a bunch of hot elf girls. But also, there's not a lot going on else. Like, there's no characters that you really like. The only one that you really like keep an eye on is like the dark elf chick, and that's just because she's the only one who has any personality other than like mind controlled. Or the witch girl, because she seems to be the one who has a plan going on in the background. But you don't really notice any of that because it never really focuses on it. It's all like the dude getting laid, that's it. And if it would have been like goofier and understanding of just, you know, like this is a porno plot, we might as well have fun. They didn't. This is I'm gonna take this seriously and sex is gonna be a part of it. It's not the XXX parody of Game of Thrones, if you catch what I'm saying. Like it's like it could have been goofier. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the reason we're all really here, the plot. Now the plot is okay. Now that may be just me getting into like a new thing where I'm trying to like branch out from like the vanilla that you normally get used to, because vanilla is a good flavor, but if you stick with vanilla your entire life, you're not really gonna figure out a lot of stuff. Most people don't like drinking, myself included, because they don't want the effects to go down on them, but also you could have a lot of fun if you did it responsibly. Now I feel like anything that has these sorts of tags should be done responsibly and to like have like a disconnect for it. That being said, it's not what I'd say the best. You're definitely here for the scenes more than you are anything else. So that being said, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 for the plot itself. Now, that's not bad. It's good. Like, it's good. This is something that you really wouldn't be around for the story. You kind of skip through it a lot and you get it. So averaging all the numbers together, you get a solid 6 out of 10 across the board. No ups, no downs, no percentages, just 6 out of 10. You're good. You're good. Now, would I say it's a good thing to watch the whole thing? Now, with it being 16 minutes long, I wouldn't necessarily say watching the whole thing is like a bad thing, but also this feels like something you could watch like most of and kind of get the gist, because that's it. Or it would be okay to like get through it. As long as you can watch it, it's good. But getting through the whole thing, not really your cup of tea if you just sat down and enjoyed the full 16 minutes and 19 seconds of it. But yeah, 6 out of 10. That's where I'm going to end it. Yeah, decent. Probably you should skim through it if you're not really looking for anything. That being said, that's it. I'm done. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So I guess I'll go into my outro. Thank you, everybody. I'm at 209 subscribers, the most I've ever had, and I didn't expect to get this far ever. So thank you. Holy shit, thank you. Like I said, every single recommendation you've sent me is literally written on that board over there to the side. Yes, every single one. All the way from Lucky Guy to Aesthetica of a Hero to... What the hell? Still doing She's Working Out in progress. I'll make a video about that like way later though. I have a lot to work on, honestly. And there's also the ones that I have on my previous list for hentai itself. That being said, I said at 200 subscribers I do Maid Week. I do not have the money for the maid costume yet. I will later. Give me a minute. It may take a second to get. That being said, thank you everybody for being around. I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you, regardless of literally anything going on. You guys helped me get further than I ever thought I would. Saying this into a really, really, really cheap-ass camera is probably not doing the service that I feel like it should, but maybe that's the next thing I fixed. Or I fix. So, thank you everybody. I appreciate the hell out of you, and remember, have a nice day, don't be a dick, there's too many of them, and wash your fucking hands. I've been the Doctor. Peace.